Hello and welcome. We're diving into a really significant update to Canada's express entry system brought to you by the Black Bear Canadian Immigration Consulting. If you're a military professional who's thinking about a future in Canada, you are absolutely going to want to pay close attention to this one. Let's get right into it. Okay, so let's set the stage. Back in February 2026, Canada announced a pretty major shift in its immigration strategy. It's all about moving towards a much more targeted approach, really zeroing in on the specific skilled professionals that the country needs. So what's the headline here? Well, Canada has rolled out a brand new selection stream, and it's aimed directly at skilled military recruits. Now, this wasn't just a random tweak. It's a really deliberate, strategic move that's designed to line up Canada's immigration goals with its national defense priorities. And, this comes straight from the top. The Immigration Minister, Lena Metlidge-Diab, announced this herself, calling it a strategic move. So to be crystal clear, we are not talking about some minor adjustment to the rules here. This is a major policy shift. Now, before we get into the specifics of the new military category, there's another really important change we have to cover. Because this one, it affects every single person applying through express entry. The bar for minimum work experience has been raised. So what does this actually look like? Well, before, you needed 6 months of continuous skilled work. The new rule, though, bumps it up to 1 full year of skilled work within the last 3 years. But, and this is a big but, it doesn't have to be continuous anymore. So yeah, the total time is doubled, but you get a lot more flexibility. The bottom line is this makes the entire express entry pool that much more competitive for everybody. All right, so let's get to the main event. This brand new category that was created specifically for skilled military recruits. This is where the policy gets incredibly specialized. Okay, this is a point I really need you to hear. This is not just a general open-door program for all military personnel. Not at all. It's a very exclusive, very structured pathway that's all about recruitment for specific roles in the Canadian Armed Forces. Think of it less as general immigration and more as strategic talent acquisition. And when we say specific, we mean really specific. We are literally talking about just 3 eligible military occupations. You've got operations members, specialized members, and commissioned officers. Each one has its own specific National Occupation Classification, or NOC code. If your military experience doesn't line up perfectly with one of these codes, then this particular pathway, I'm afraid, just isn't going to be for you. So now we're getting to the absolute heart of this new category. On top of all the usual express entry rules, there's a list of 4 very demanding, totally non-negotiable requirements that you have to meet. Let's walk through them one by one. First off, you have to be currently serving in a recognized foreign military. Second, you need to have a minimum of 10 years of continuous service. Third, and honestly this is the biggest one, you must secure a full-time job offer for at least 3 years from the Canadian Armed Forces themselves. And finally, you need a post-secondary credential from a program that was at least 2 years long. And just to be clear, it's not pick and choose, you have to meet all 4. I'm going to say this again because it is that important. This entire pathway from start to finish depends on you being actively recruited by the Canadian Armed Forces. Without that official, formal job offer in your hand, you simply cannot use this stream. It is a completely closed loop between getting recruited and getting to immigrate. And it's also so important to remember that this new category isn't some separate, standalone thing. It's built right on top of the existing express entry system, which means all those foundational rules, yep, they still apply. So on top of meeting all the new, very strict military criteria, you also have to clear the standard hurdles of express entry. That means you still have to qualify for a program like the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you still have to prove your language skills, and you still have to get a competitive, comprehensive ranking system or CRS score. This new category is an and, not an or. It's an extra layer of requirements on top of everything else. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. Let's look at what this really means from a strategic point of view. If you think you might be a candidate for this, how should you be thinking about it? From our perspective here at the Black Bear, the takeaway is pretty clear. This is a pathway for a very, very select few. Success is going to come down to absolute precision. Your eligibility screening has to be perfect. The documentation that proves your 10 years of continuous service has to be flawless. And you know what? Optimizing your CRS score is still as critical as it has ever been. So as we wrap up, the one big question you really need to ask yourself is this: Given the incredibly high bar and that direct link to being recruited by the military, is this highly selective pathway truly the right one for your journey to Canada? Answering that question, honestly, is the most important first step you can possibly take. Thanks for joining us.